The Federal Health Department has just given $1.5 million to a drug and alcohol treatment and research service called Counselling Online to help it deal with this coronavirus crisis. That's your money. Counselling Online's advice to addicts in this difficult time is to buy more illicit drugs, to stock up, whether on heroin or cocaine or whatever. It says, if possible, talk to your dealer about what might happen if your regular drug supply may be restricted, and stock up on your drugs of choice. Joining me is the panel, Bruce Hawker, who helped to run Labor campaigns federally and state, is now head of the Campaigns and Communications Group, and broadcaster Jane Marwick from 6PR in Perth. Bruce Hawker, is this the kind of advice that you'd like being given out with your money?
Look, it's tough, Andrew, and it's hard to not feel judgmental towards people who are addicts. But the truth is that these people are going to be going through a very tough time, tougher than a lot of other people, if they don't get their supply of drugs. And these counselling services operate on the basis that they're non-judgmental, but they are going to be there to provide assistance to people in getting through their addiction and hopefully out the other side. So I'm not particularly surprised by this. It's not something that I think mainstream Australians see as being a particularly great thing or a good thing, but it's a reality that you have to deal with in certain sectors of this community, and that's the way they have to do it.
But Jane, why is my money being used to advise addicts to buy more drugs rather than get off them?
I know where Bruce is coming from, and I've read the article, but seriously, people have lost their jobs. I don't think, and I don't mean Bruce, but I don't think that a lot of commentators understand the real pain on the ground. Now, I do not mind $1.5 million going into drug counselling services. I think drug addiction is absolutely terrible. What I do mind is those counselling services telling people to stockpile their drugs. That is an illegal activity, and that is not the remedy to this problem. And as a matter of fact, I was out in Perth today and I saw a couple of guys clearly affected by drugs hugging in the street for all of the messaging about social distancing. They clearly needed help and probably some counselling. But let's just put this into perspective. A lot of Australians have lost their jobs and can't get JobKeeper, and for various reasons can't get JobSeeker, maybe because their partner earns over that threshold. They're really hurting. The idea that $1.5 million of taxpayers' money goes to an organisation that then says, look, line up your dealer and make sure you've got a steady supply is just not going to wash. I know I sound really hard-nosed about it, but it's not right.
Listen, it's up to them whether... Go ahead, Bruce.
Say though, except when these people start coming down and are out on the street and they're doing stupid things like trying to break into homes and so forth. It's a complex problem, Andrew, and I'm not going to be judgmental about it.
I know it's a complex problem. I know, but I am being judgmental because we supply the money, hopefully, I thought, to these services to get people off the drugs. They're onto their they know how to get their supplies. If they don't want to go, they'll buy all right. We shouldn't be using our money to advise them to buy more drugs. I thought the whole idea was to get people off them. That was my notion.
It absolutely is, and that's what they're there to do. But I think they're coming to grips with a reality at the moment that a lot of these addicts aren't up to the point of getting off, and probably some of them never will. So they have to deal with that, and they have to try to contain the problem. They will deal with it. And this is how they do it.
I'm sure they'll deal with it because they've managed to get on drugs without our help in the first place. I'm sure they can find their own way to get more drugs. But it's not why we give a service our money. It's to get people off the drugs. That was the whole idea, but that's just my last century notions, I guess.